Dave Kindig is famous for his amazing automotive restoration and detailed custom work at Kindig-It Design. Over the years, automotive fans have been drawn to his unique way of making cars. Fans have been excited to follow his story as he became more and more successful. But things didn't go as planned after he became famous. Dave's life took a turn for the worse, from lawsuits to the end of his show. Come with us as we find out what really happened to Dave Kindig. So, the design of the door panel changed a lot. We simply got on it and started molding it out. At the same time, Justin and I both said, "Yeah, that's the ticket." Yes, it is. The inside of the car stands out when you gaze in from outside. So, Justin put in a one-piece leather headliner, which was a bit of a struggle for him because the roll cage is pushed up so high into the corners that it was hard for him to get to. Dave Kindig likes to stay out of the spotlight, even though many TV stars are in the news for scandals. He stays on task with his work. It was somewhat surprise when he was involved in a case a few years ago. The background behind this is that Dave's company was contracted by more than 30 chiropractors and health practitioners from all around the US to fix up and personalize a 1974 Dodge Charger. Both sides agreed to $670,000 funding the project after meeting. Also, it's important to remember that the chiropractors had already spent more than $230,000 in deposits and initial development costs for the project, expecting a high-quality restoration. But as time went on, they became more and more angry, saying that not much progress had been accomplished. The plaintiffs said that by the time they filed the claim, all they had gotten from Kindig was the shell of the automobile and no work on the drivetrain, interior, or other parts that made it work. They kept asking for updates on the car's status, but they either got vague answers or no response at all. The client's anger reached a breaking point in 2022, and they sued Kindig Design for fraud in violating the contract. The lawsuit said that Kindig Design took money without doing the job they promised, and the plaintiffs said they had been lied to regarding the schedule and progress. Kindig-It Design justified themselves by saying that the pandemic and shipping problems in 2019 caused a lot of delays. The corporation also said that its good name and past successful projects showed that the delays were not planned. The case had a clear timeline, like most legal issues. Kindig took up the job of restoring the 1974 Dodge Charger in 2019. The chiropractors paid the deposit at the beginning of 2020 to get the project started. But by 2021, when the repair was still a long way from being finished, people started to show their displeasure. The chiropractors thought they had no choice but to take legal action by the middle of 2021. Before this, the chiropractors had tried to settle the issue privately through alternative dispute resolution. We had mediation meetings in the hopes of settling the disagreement without going to court. But these sessions didn't work out because there were no promises of a refund and the expectations were different. The plaintiffs said that Kindig ignored their pleas and kept taking payments even though they didn't follow through on their promises. The chiropractors' lawyers showed the court proof, such as photos and bills, suggesting no major work had been done since the car was taken apart. They said that the car's slow progress after the first tear-on was a clear evidence that the corporation had not fulfilled its end of the deal. Because of this, people said that Kindig had been dishonest and careless, and that they had purposely put the project on hold. Kindig-It Design reacted to these claims by saying that the work was not abandoned despite the delays and that external problems were the main cause for the poor pace. Even though these reasons were made, the court struggle went on, and the chiropractors were determined to get justice for what they saw was an unfair and incomplete endeavor. As the case got more exposure, additional people who had worked with Kindig-It Design came forward with their own complaints. Some past clients said they had the same problems, such as delayed pace, bad communication, incomplete repairs, and trouble collecting reimbursements. One buyer who had to wait more than 3 years for a Camaro restoration made a big deal about it. But the project stopped and never got past the bodywork stage. These criticisms made some wonder if Kindig-It Design was taking on too many projects, especially when company was at the height of its TV stardom. Fans thought that the company's quick growth might have made it harder for them to keep up with quality and run their business well. At the time, no new cases were filed, but these extra complaints made people question how the organization worked. The legal case is still going on as of 2025. Both sides are in the discovery process, which means they are sharing documents and taking depositions. Unless a settlement is reached before then, the case is likely to go to trial in early 2026. Fans and customers are very interested in the case and want to know what will happen and how it might affect Kindig's future in the car restoration business. But this wasn't the first time Dave had to deal with a lawsuit. He was in court again in 2014, but this time he was the one suing. The lawsuit in the District Court of Utah allegedly said that Creative Controls Inc., a company based in Michigan, had broken Kindig Design's patents and copyrights. In short, Kindig-It Design said that the defendant had copied and utilized their copyrighted works and patented inventions without permission. You see, being original is the most important element in custom car design. It takes builders years to make new methods or improve their own approach. Each country grants patents for new things like hydraulic lifts or bespoke suspension setups and copyrights for artistic works like logos, body forms, and paint patterns to keep them safe. These laws make sure that builders receive paid and recognized for their job. Without them, competitors might readily take someone else's ideas and make money off of them. So, the case was very important for Kindig because the lawsuit was meant to safeguard its intellectual property and get money for the claimed violation. Creative Controls, on the other hand, didn't take the claims lightly. The corporation asked the court to throw out the case, giving a number of important legal reasons. One of their arguments was that Utah did not have personal jurisdiction over them because they did not have a significant presence in the state. They also said that Kindig's legal claims don't have enough evidence to back them up. One of the rules in civil procedure says that a lawsuit might be thrown out if the claims don't have enough evidence to go further. As the case went on, both sides made their points. Creative Controls said that they didn't do any business directly with Utah and that they didn't have any regular business there or employees there. They also said that the court didn't have the right to hear the case and asked that it be moved to Michigan. But Kindig-It was set on keeping the case in Utah. They gave the court a number of reasons why it should have power over Creative Controls. First, they said that Creative Controls had a website that made it easy for clients to place orders, even some from Utah. Second, Kindig-It said that the defendant had provided them a bespoke parking brake in Utah years before, and this donation had been officially acknowledged. The third point was a single sale made through the website to a consumer in Utah. However, all sides agreed that this one sale should not be used to determine jurisdiction in Utah. While this was happening, something fresh happened in the case. The case file says that Creative Controls may have used pictures from Kindig's website in Utah, which made the case for establishing jurisdiction stronger. The Utah District Court made its decision on the case in January 2016. The court agreed that there was enough evidence to say that Creative Controls was responsible for some claims that didn't have anything to do with patents, but not enough for the patent claims. The court decided that Creative Controls' website did make it easier to place orders, but there wasn't enough proof that the site was aimed at Utah customers. The donation of the custom parking brake, which happened years ago, was also too far away to be a strong basis for jurisdiction. Also, the one-time sale to a consumer in Utah was not enough to show that the court had the power to handle the matter. This decision, though, didn't end the lawsuit. Both sides kept arguing over legal details, like Kindig's move to force more discovery, which the court turned down in April 2017. The court decided that the motion was filed too late, a month after the discovery period had ended. The judge said that the information Kind wanted was not proportional to the needs of the case, even if the motion had been filed on time. In June 2017, the matter was sent before a magistrate judge to help the parties talk about settling. After a while, both sides met for a settlement conference, but they couldn't agree on anything. But in July 2017, the dispute was formally over when both sides filed a stipulation of dismissal with prejudice. This means that both sides agreed to drop their claims and counterclaims and gave up their right to take any more legal action on the same grounds in the future. The details of the settlement were not made public, but it was evident that both sides had come to an agreement and moved on from the court fight. Aside from Dave's lawsuits, people all around the world have been fascinated by how his store and TV show have brought old cars back to life. The show, which started in 2014, was popular with car fans and casual viewers alike since it showed how cars were customized and how the people who did it worked. Dave rapidly became known on the show for his creative ideas and love of cars. The show was more than simply a look at how to create custom automobiles. It showed people how one of the world's most successful custom shops works. The cars that were worked on were frequently old, such 1950s Chevrolets or high-performance muscle cars. But what really jumped out was how hard Dave and his crew worked on every job and how much they cared about the details. As the show got more and more popular, Dave's life was changing in the background as well. There were a lot of hard things about running a top-tier bespoke firm. Dave and his staff had to deal with the stress of keeping the shop's high standards and the fact that they worked in a competitive field. Even though these problems arose, Kindig-It Design stayed at the top of the custom automobile business. It wasn't just about making pretty automobiles for them. It was about keeping the history of the cars they fixed up alive so that future generations might enjoy them. Dave owns Kindig-Design and has worked on some of the most important events in the automobile business. He and his team have won many awards, including the Riddler Award, which is one of the most sought-after awards in the custom automobile business. Fans were astonished and saddened when the series was suddenly cancelled in early 2025, even though the team had done a lot of good work. Dave Kindig later confirmed the news in an emotional Instagram post. He thanked his fans for their commitment and promised them that his love for custom builds and innovative ideas at Kindig-It Design will never change. The choice to cancel a show that millions of people around the world loved surely sparked a lot of issues. Different reports say that a number of things caused the show to be cancelled. One of the main reasons given was that there were more and more automotive TV shows competing with it. As more automobile restoration shows hit the airwaves, the market got crowded, which made it harder for one show to stand out. The rising costs of production were also a big reason. Making a high-quality show with complicated car constructions and effort behind the scenes cost a lot of money. The network had a hard time justifying sustaining the show as its budget kept rising. Many fans are unhappy that the program is over, but they are also thrilled about what Dave Kindig and his team will do next. Dave's impact in the field of custom automobile design is far from ended. He has new projects on the way and his company keeps making amazing cars. Dave's impact on the car world is still strong, even after the sad news. He keeps pushing the limits of design and innovation, making one-of-a-kind cars that get attention wherever they go. He has always been dedicated to quality and paying attention to the little things, and it's apparent that his love for the art will keep him successful. When it comes to success, Dave Kindig's rise to fame is nothing short of amazing. He was always interested in design as a child, and he spent hours drawing and sketching different things. He liked doing intricate drawings of bugs and insects from a young age. But it didn't take long for Dave to figure out that his main love was designing custom cars. He quickly changed his concentration to designing vehicles since he discovered that automotive design was a better way for him to show his ideas. His childhood interest in design was the first step toward a career in the automotive industry. Dave says that his interest of cars comes from being curious as a child. But loving cars is important, and it's not enough to make a living from it. It takes training and practice in real life. Dave got his first job at High Performance Coating to learn what he needed to know. He studied the ins and outs of the restoration business there. This job was the start of his success in the future. It was clear that Dave wanted to come up with new ideas, and that pushed him to do what many people thought was impossible. After learning for a few years, he decided to quit High Performance Coating and establish his own firm. He used his retirement savings to start Kindig Design in 1991. Kindig Design started up in a room that was 4,500 square feet. The area was little, but it was big enough to get the job done. Dave's passion to his work is what set him apart. He made sure that every car he worked on was a work of art, even if he didn't have a lot of money. His love of vehicles and attention to detail made him stand out from other people who restore cars. People rapidly learned about his skills, and soon people from all over the world were asking for his help. Dave knew it was time to grow when his reputation expanded. He moved into a building that was 27,000 square feet, which is a lot bigger. This was a major deal for Dave since it offered him the space he needed to work on bigger projects. Having extra room allowed Dave to hire a group of talented experts who helped him with his ideas and inventiveness. His new team let him work on projects that were much bigger and more complicated. The team at Kindig Design didn't let up once they had made a name for themselves in the business. They made a smart move by putting out a lot of media that, surprise, got got the attention of the correct people. Their work was enough to get the attention of show producers at Velocity TV, which is now called Motor Trend Network. The producers got in touch with Kindig's management team and asked for a video sample. They wanted to see how the crew worked and what the garage was like. Dave thought this was the perfect chance to get his brand in front of more people. He didn't think twice about making the best sample video he could, and it worked. The producers were quite impressed right away and gave the team a big yes. That was when his TV show first came to life. And it was definitely one of the most popular shows on Motor Trend Network. There is no doubt that the custom creations were spectacular, but what really set the presentation apart was Dave's strategic approach. He made sure to go over certain important parts of the contract before signing it to make sure the program was real and honest. He told the producers clearly that the cars they made weren't only for TV. They were for his most important customers. Dave said he would never rush a project solely to get more viewers. This choice helped keep the high standards and attention to detail that Kindig Design was recognized for. Dave hasn't slowed down at all since the show ended. He is still fully committed to running his bespoke car restoration business, Kindig-It Design, as of 2025. The business is still doing well, because to its concentration on making high-quality cars. Dave not only runs his firm, but he also goes to industry events and vehicle exhibitions. He has been to the Master Tech Expo, where he talked about his love of constructing custom cars and how he does it. By going to these events, he can meet other specialists in the field and remain on top of the latest trends in car design and restoration. Dave likes to spend time with his wife, Charity, when he's not at work. People know that the couple loves golf. And Dave often plays with Charity at other courses, using the game to relax and get to know people. Dave also cares about helping others and has taken part in a number of community events. He supports causes that are important to him, whether it's through car shows or other events. Dave knows how important it is to use his platform for good, and he always tries to make a difference in both the automotive world and his own neighborhood. He doesn't simply want to manufacture automobiles.